Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with a Borderlands 4 video for today. This is going to be our guide for when you're first starting out the game, whether you are completely new to the Borderlands franchise or even just for Borderlands 4. There's some quick tips and tricks here as you first start the game. That'll kind of suit your fancy no matter what kind of player you are, right? Whether you're brand new or are just starting out Borderlands 4 in particular. My first recommendation is going to be to focus solely on the story mission as you get in, right? Like, I know there's a lot of temptation to go in and start doing side missions and stuff, but the reason we're going to want to focus on the main story mission, right, is you'll get to this first abandoned post, right? This first safe house here is where we are now. And there are, like, there are bounty boards in every safe house here. I recommend if if you want to do some side missions early on, my recommendation would be the ones that are like bounties, because they're basically go and kill a little mini boss and then you're one and done. Whereas some of the other missions do kind of have a little bit more involved and take a little bit more time. But in reality, right, it's if you're grinding for loot and levels, right, the bounties, right, would probably be my recommendation, right? But you can go in and abandon contracts, right? So we had picked up a mission from the bounty board. You can go in and get rid of it. The difference between the bounty boards now and past bounty boards is it's a little bit more open worldy, right? So like the bounty boards are going to refresh, especially if you log out and log back in. You're going to get whole new missions here, right? And so there's no like downside to abandoning a contract, right? You're going to have more show up later versus like some of the previous Borderlands games, right? It was you'd go do a mission and that would be it for that, right? So you'd clear the bounty board and then you'd never need to return to it ever again, right? So we'll go back in and I'll show you what I'm talking about, right? But there's no really, don't worry about, if you want to clean up your missions, right? You can go and abandon those contracts, and there's always going to be more that are going to show up next time you show up, right? So here's like several different mission types: acquire, patrol, collect. Like I said, the ones that are like bounty, that say bounty, those are the quickest and easiest. They're usually a little mini boss or badass right close to the safe house, and so you do those. Those are quick and easy, a little quick and easy XP. But my recommendation still would be focus on the story mission, and the reason is you want to get your vehicle, right? So getting your vehicle is going to be huge. You're not going to have to walk along this, you're not going to have to walk everywhere, right? So make sure you track and focus on your main story mission. So I'm on console, so you push up on the D-pad once you get your little robot dude. That will help, guide you. It'll give you the guiding line, right? And if you go into the menu, there is an option in here for this echolocation path visibility duration, right? So if you kind of want to, if you don't like the lines sticking up, right, I think it defaults to medium here, right? But you can change it to low and then it won't last very long, right? And then you can change it to high and it'll last even longer, right? So if you want to like kind of help with your immersive play, you can make that go away a little bit faster, and if it's annoying you, or if you're really relying on it, you can make it last as quite a bit longer by changing the duration there. So just a quick tip on that one. This first mission is going to seem, right after you get to the first safe house to get to the next location, it looks like it's far away, but it's really not that bad. You can go and fight some enemies along the way, but like I said, try not to get too distracted here. My recommendation would still be to go and, bypass the vast majority of things. Don't pick up any side missions or anything, right? They're going to be there. They're not going away. And go and make sure you're focused on the story mission. So here I'm just kind of walking towards it and just killing the few guys that show up within my path. And then we'll just keep kind of moving along, right? So I think there's a character up here that, along this, along the road that we're traveling to the mission, right? She was the one that I fell for, my first character that I started playing with, and I picked up a side mission from her and then went and did it, and it was taking quite a while, and it was far away. There's a little bit of traveling I had to do, so I was a little bit annoyed, right? So as you progress, right, there's no real spoilers or anything here, but as you get to the next area and complete the next mission, help the next group of folks out, this is where you're going to meet this Conway person. She's going to give you your first vehicle. So that's kind of, and I was about level 5 or 6 or so, as you can see down in the bottom left. Once we got there, just from just kind of, messing around with whatever was along the way, right? So the other thing too that's nice is if you do, like, turn out you get a few levels in and you don't really like your character, right, your class that you picked. If you go and create another character, it actually lets you skip that intro mission and puts you at level 2 right on the beach where you meet Claptrap, so it's kind of nice. It lets you skip up to that stuff. But this is where we're getting our first vehicle from Conway. So you go in and scan it, and then you have it available to you. The nice thing, the really, really nice thing now is you don't ever have to go to a catch a ride or a station or a base or a safe house or anything. You can instant summon your vehicle. So those of you that are Destiny players are going to be familiar with this. You'll be able to just, it's on console, right? It's right on the D-pad. Will summon your vehicle. So we'll do it here, and that's it, right? It's even faster than for Destiny. So it's really nice. The left bumper is going to give you a boost. The right bumper is like a little jump mechanic. And then, of course, pulling the trigger is going to let you fire your weapons. There are plenty of other vehicle types that you can unlock with other different perks and benefits and all that other stuff. Next up on my list is these little stations here. Kind of remind you of fast travel stations, but they are, in fact, not. They are called checkpoints, and they're going to see on your map, you're going to see the active checkpoint. That means that's where you're going to respawn at if you die, right? So those are only checkpoints where you'll respawn if you're killed. They are not fast travel locations that you can actually fast travel to. What you're looking for unlocking fast travel stations is locations called safe houses. We'll dig into those a little bit too. Don't forget, you're going to have rewards as you complete tasks, some missions, and if you had any like pre-order bonuses or whatever, or addition bonuses, right? You're going to have some rewards in here. These are important to unlock right away because they're going to be linked to the level that you unlocked them at, right? So there's no sense in hanging on to these. And then, as like always, there's an option to compare your current item with any item that is in your backpack, and you can see which one you like better, and then equip that one. And then you can, of course, mark them as garbage. You mark your old stuff as garbage if you don't want to hang on to it, or trash, they call it, right? And then that's really, really easy to go and sell at a vending machine. You walk right up to the vending machine. You don't even have to go into the vending machine anymore. You can just tap Y on the console, right? At least for Xbox that I'm on. If you did order one of the other editions, I did get this Matador's Match legendary gun that's at level 1, and it is quite good, so make sure you go in and unlock any rewards if you, depending on the edition that you bought. I was able to play with this. It still felt powerful even up to like level 8 or so before I finally ditched it for something else. So legendaries, you might be able to hang on to them a little bit longer than you used to. But yeah, that one's in there. It does you option for fire or electric damage. It's a Molly 1 SMG, right? So just if you bought one of the higher up editions, you might have that and get you started, right? So, but yeah, here we can see we're at there's a checkpoint recently, and then here is what's called a safe house. So that's what those look like, right? They're going to be slightly different icons on the map. So as you get early in the game, you're going to unlock these first two, and then you can always fast travel to any of those from anywhere. You don't have to be at a checkpoint or a fast travel station or anything to be able to fast travel to it. So super, super nice. There's this little animation, right? I'm on consoles and probably slower than some of the PC guys taking it to load there, but now here we are at the safe house. This is I think the second one we unlock along the way, right? Next that's new for Borderlands 4 is this grapple mechanic, right? So if you've already started playing, you're probably familiar with it. But there is a setting that I liked that that you can change with kind of sort of how this works. And it has to do with sort of automatically how it kind of automatically like looks for you. And so, I'll show you where it is here, but basically you can turn that off and then you get maybe a little bit more control over how, you know, where your character's looking when you use the grapple, right? So this is called this is in the accessibility grapple tilt view. So when toggled on, the view will tilt down to look towards the destination while traveling to a grapple point, right? So you could go in here and turn this off and see if you like that a little bit better. It gives you maybe just a little bit more freedom when you're using that grapple. There are a couple of things, like I'm getting old now, so I don't like the screen shake and the camera head bob stuff, right? So these are good things to turn down if you're like me and you get a little like sick and from playing video games. It's sad to say, right? But this these were the two options on console. I didn't see an option for field of view on console. Obviously, if you're on PC, and you've got a high-end PC, you're going to have more and more options for all of this kind of stuff. But those were the two things that I turned down a little bit. The screen shake intensity and the camera head bob helped out quite a bit, and I was able to play for quite a bit longer. And then mantle with forward was another setting that is defaulted to off. I liked turning it on because it kind of makes your mantling up a little bit, right? As you come up on a ledge and you jump and you don't quite get it right, you just kind of automatically jump up, right? So this is a little bit better. It's a little bit, you get a little bit more freedom with how you're looking around as you're grappling with that, you know, that automatic view while you're grappling, right? So I just liked it a little bit better. You may or may not, right? But that's kind of what I did, and I quite enjoy it better this way. And then same with the mantling up, basically makes it kind of a little bit more automatic. If you're not familiar with Borderlands games, right, you can't take fall damage, so just something to keep in mind. Nice and fun. There's a lot more mechanics now. There's a double jump and this glide mechanic. You do have to get a couple missions into the storyline to be able to do the glide. Your vehicle also can go over water, so this is huge. That turns basically rivers and waterways into nice smooth roads. So another thing to keep in mind as you travel around the map, you can not only look at roads, but you can look for waterways that'll make easy paths too. And of course, you don't insta-die when you go into water like you did with some other Borderlands games also, right? So all just kind of really, really quick tips and tricks. Another thing in the options menu that I kind of wanted to call out is there is an option for a combat radar that you'll notice that I have up in the top right of my screen. So it is in the gameplay section, and it's this one here, toggle radar display, right? So by default, you have the compass on, and it doesn't let you turn the compass off, which I kind of wish it did. But the compass is basically the thing on top of your screen pointing you towards destinations. And over on the top right of my screen, you can now see the combat radar. So those of you that are a little bit more familiar with, you know, a lot of other shooter games have stuff like that, right? So you may enjoy that a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to tell where exactly people are in relation to you, especially somebody behind you. So I found the combat radar to be nice to have. And then don't forget, you've got rep kits now, which is a little bit different mechanic for Borderlands. So we just used one there that gave us some healing. Early on in the game, it's pretty much just a heal. But once you get going and find more rep kits, right, it's basically a gear item. They have other perks. Some of them, I really like ones that also give you some shield health back as well. So those are the ones I look for. Some of them have multiple charges, right? This one only worked once, and then I'm now waiting on a cooldown, which you can see the little like syringe symbol down by our level at the very bottom left. That is our rep kit, just became available again there. So yeah, it was originally a mechanic that when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that, but it actually works out really well, and I do like how they've incorporated tons of other perks and sort of things you can do with the rep kits, right? So just another thing to keep in mind. So we'll use one there to give us some healing back, right? But like I said, they come with all sorts of perks as you find better ones as you level up, right? We're pretty low level on this character at the moment, so do a little bit more fighting here. See if we can finish these guys off. But yeah, I just wanted to call out that combat radar option here, and then don't forget your rep kit. The other thing to, go if you're in you can, yeah. So we're collecting some loot, right? We opened up a container. And if you notice on the options for picking things up, right, you can, if you're on console, right, there's an option to hold X, which will swap out your current weapon for it, or down on the D-pad will actually take it as junk. So it basically takes the item, automatically marks it as junk, and then you'll be able to, when you go to a vending machine, right, you'd sell it as junk right away, right? So that's a really cool feature. I like that. I like not having to pick it up, then go into my, you know, if I'm early game and I'm looking for cash, right? I think a lot of times once you get going and you have, you know, tons and tons of stuff and tons of money, you don't really pay too much attention and don't pick up as much stuff. But yeah, so once you get up to a vending machine, once you've got stuff, you can mark them as junk from within your backpack. But otherwise, it's going to just be a tap Y here to sell junk. So it sold out everything that I had marked as junk and gave us the cash for it. Of course, vending machines are going to have items on the day. You can tab over to the sell, and so you could just sell items directly from here as well, right? Like just like you normally would in previous Borderlands games. And then once you do sell something, there's always, you can tab over to the buy back section, right? So if you accidentally sell something that you didn't want to sell, you can go and get it back, right? So, but yeah, so there's lots of stuff to keep in mind and keep track of. Another thing too, right, don't forget when you're down in the bottom left, you know, if your level is glowing yellow, that means you've got a new skill point to spend. And then for increasing backpack size and stuff, that's all in those menus too. And as you complete challenges and stuff, you'll have the ability to increase like how much ammo you can carry, right? It's called in your SDU section, how much ammo you can carry, how much space is available in your backpack and in your vault and all that other fun stuff. So thanks for watching my video all the way through here, guys. Anything Borderlands 4 related, I'm going to be playing the game quite a bit, so if anything you're interested in, leave a comment down in the comments section and make sure you are following. I really do appreciate those of you that subscribe to my channel. I'm a pretty small channel, so new people, you are recognized. I see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. My icon will show up in the bottom right of the screen as we end here, so make sure you click on it, subscribe, check out all my other content as well, and we will see you guys next time.